Miss T. If you're joining us for the first time, this is my channel, Crumpus Tea and Sewing. Thank you to all the new subscribers. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to receive notifications of all my videos when I post them. So in today's video, I decided to share with you my 2020 sewing successes. So a few days ago, I shared my sewing fails, and if you missed that video, I'll put the link to that video in the description box below, and I'll also put it in the iCard in this video as well. So I've had a good amount of subscribers and new people to the channel who really appreciated the sewing fails video, and so that made me feel really great about that. It was something that I did. This was a first for me. I've never shared my sewing fails, not so many of them all at one time. So thank you so much for the feedback and the encouragement and all of your positivity. I really needed that to start off the new year. So I wanted to also show you some of the garments and the patterns that I really liked during sewing them in 2020. And I absolutely loved every one of these patterns on the list. A few of them are my TNT patterns, and I really enjoy making these garments, making these patterns and making garments out of these patterns. So the first on the list is, it's one of the first things that I sewed of 2020, and it's this bomber jacket. And the pattern for that is Simplicity 8418. So that's like one of the first things that I sewed in 2020. And I never sewn a bomber jacket before, but I was quite familiar with the jacketing process. I've made jackets before, I've made coats before, but I've never made a bomber jacket. And so attaching the rib knit fabric to the stable woven fabric was a little bit of a new concept to me because I've never sewn a bomber jacket before, but I absolutely love this bomber jacket. And I was able to make this into, well, I made two bomber jackets. I made one in this Ankara fabric that is called honeycomb, and it's a black and yellow fabric that has hints of burgundy going throughout the little honeycomb. And you can't really see it when you're looking at the jacket, but when you're up close on the jacket and you can see all the little details, then you can see the little the hint of the little burgundy undertone. I wear this jacket quite often. Actually, I made two bomber jackets, and the second version I made is a reversible jacket, and that's what I was going to tell you before I started talking about the honeycomb jacket. But I made two of these, and the second version is a reversible jacket. And I love these jackets. I especially love the reversible jacket because of the versatility. I did not think that I was going to be able to get so much wear out of these jackets. I wear them all the time. So even as late as, I want to say late November, early December, I was wearing the reversible jacket because it wasn't really cold here where I'm at in Oregon. But it was still cool enough that I needed a jacket. And because of the weight of the corduroy fabric, with the weight of the Ankara jacket, it's perfect. It is perfect for temperatures that are cooler than, say, like early fall. So anyway, I have a pattern review on this channel. Please check it out if it's something that you're interested in, and you can learn more about that jacket. So that's like one of my top favorite patterns and favorite makes of 2020 because it's something that I wear all the time. I mean, all the time. All right, so the second pattern that I love is the McCalls M7253. Now, this pattern I made, I think, midway into the year, and I made it for a mood collaboration, and it is a pattern of a pleated skirt. Now, the skirt itself is no longer in print, so it's an out of print pattern. But I believe you can still purchase it off of the McCall's website. Sometimes they have out of print patterns that they are selling, and I think this is one of them. You can also find it on eBay. You can find it on Etsy. I think I even seen a copy on Amazon as well. So the pattern is still circling around within the online sewing community, or sewing, not sewing, sorry, the online shopping community. So you can still purchase this pattern. However, you can't purchase it at your local sewing stores anymore because it's out of print. I use this beautiful floral cotton sateen fabric from Mood Fabrics. It's a really nice weight. Actually, it reminds me of like drapes, or some kind of home decor fabric, but it's not so drapey and structured that you can't get a good skirt or a pair of pants out of it, even a jacket or whatever. So it's a really nice apparel fabric, but it is, I will be honest, it is a little bit on the heavier side as far as apparel fabrics go. The reason why I love this pattern is because it's very simple and easy to make. It's stylish. I love the pleat details. I love the different length variations. This pattern has a optional band that you can put on the bottom of the skirt. So there's color blocking options there. It's just a really pretty cool, simple pattern. And I love A-line skirts. So I love any kind of fit and flare type skirt, which this skirt fits that bill for me. It's fitted at the waist and it flares out at the hips. And so that's why I love this pattern. I rarely find patterns, pleated skirt patterns, where the pleats are all even and symmetrical and you don't have to do hardly any adjustments or alterations to the waist. And so that's another reason why I love this skirt pattern, because I didn't have to make any changes to my waistline. I just selected whatever pattern, whatever size I wanted. And I think I went down a size, but I didn't have to do like any kind of like big alterations to fit the pleats. And I've had that problem before with the Simplicity. I think it's 8609 or something like that. It has a pleated, it's a pleated skirt that has pockets, and it was a nightmare. So when I find a pleated skirt that I really like and I don't have to make any kind of big alterations or adjustments to those pleats in order for the waistband to fit on the skirt, I love it. So that's one of the reasons why I really love this pattern. I love the fabric that I chose, the drape of the fabric. As you can see here, it's a lovely skirt. It really is a lovely skirt, and I love both the fabric and the pattern. Next on my list is the McCalls M7351, which is another project that I made from Mood, and it is a shirt dress that has I think it's 3 or 4 different hem lines. So there's a version where you can make like an asymmetrical hem where it's a curved hem, so it dips down, and it's kind of like a high-low style, but without the high or the low in the back. But it does have that look to it. So it's an asymmetrical hem that you can use. You can also do just a regular squared off hem. It just has different options. I don't think it has a handkerchief one in this one, but the point is that the pattern is a beautiful pattern. It has a yoke on the back of the back bodice that you attach to the bodice in the back. It has a collar and a collar band. It has a placket that goes down the center front of the garment. It has optional pockets that you place on the top of the skirt. I think it also has inseam pockets as well. It has an optional inseam pockets as well. It's just a beautiful shirt dress. I really love the way that it fit. I love the fabric that I chose for the pattern, and that's why I love the garment. So I love both the fabric and the pattern, and I love the end result, and I love the garment that I was able to get with it. It's a beautiful garment. And by the way, the fabric is a Cityscapes fabric. It's called Cityscapes Flowers and Foliage fabric, and it's by Mood Fabrics. And I don't know if this one is I don't know if it's available, but I will put a link in the description box and see, and you can go over and see if that fabric is still available. So next on my list is the Tia knit wrap dress. As far as wraps go, I always have a difficult time with the cleavage part of the wrap dress, because most of the time the cleavage part it's usually exposed, and I can never really get my adjustments and alterations to cover up that cleavage area completely. But with the Tia knit wrap dress, I was able to achieve that. And I really love this pattern. Now, not only was I able to make a simple adjustment to the neckline of the garment to cover up the gaping that was up in the cleavage area, but I was also able to achieve the perfect fit, and I didn't do any other adjustments with this particular pattern. And I was really impressed with the fit of this garment. I mean, I didn't have to make any alterations. I didn't have to make a bicep adjustment or a shoulder adjustment or a waist adjustment, nothing. Everything just fell in place, and I love this pattern. And this is a pattern that I did in the collaboration with Crystal of Crystal Sews and Stuff, and we both love this pattern. And we did this collaboration because we actually won the pattern. We entered into a giveaway by Sew Over 50, and we won this pattern, and we decided to collaborate together because we both won a copy of this pattern. So we were just really thrilled with being able to not only get a free copy of the pattern, but we were really grateful for the outcome of the pattern as well. And so for me personally, I really love this, and I love how it fits. It fits like a glove, and I definitely recommend it. It's a style art pattern, and I'll put that in the description box below as well. Next on my list is the Vera top by Forget Me Not Patterns. This is a free pattern. You can download this pattern on the Forget Me Not website. I'll put the link to this pattern in the description box below as well. I did a pattern review of this as well. Oh, and by the way, I did a pattern review of the McCalls M7351, which is the shirt dress, and I also did a pattern review of the Tia knit wrap dress as well. I'll put information to everything that I mentioned in this video in the description box below, so that way if you see my pictures throughout the video and you see a pattern that you like, you can go right on down in the description box, and you can go ahead and click on those reviews, and you can learn more about these particular makes that I have come to love in 2020. So the Vera top by Forget Me Not Patterns. This is a beautiful top. I mean, for a free pattern, I was a tester for this company and for this top, and I absolutely love this pattern. Now, I did have to make a few adjustments to the cuff because the cuff was really long. But Joanna, she actually made some changes during the testing phase to some of those pieces. Like people, like some of the one cuff was too long. I think a different cuff was too short. But anyway, the point is that she made changes and she made adjustments to the things that we actually found that was probably not the best for a standard pattern. And she made those changes so you won't have those issues. But when I first made up a few of these garments, I did have the issue, especially with the long cuff view, I had the issue of it being too long because I'm really short in my arms. And so that's the only issue that I had, but that issue had been fixed. And I really love this pattern. It sews up really easily. It's a beginner friendly pattern. It has, let's see, if you do the bell sleeve version, which is without the cuff, there's the front, the back, you have the neckband, and you have the sleeve. So it's a very simple pattern. You don't have that many pieces. If you decide to add the short cuff or the long cuff, then that's another pattern piece. But you're only working with about 4 to 5 pattern pieces, and it sews up really well. You can use an array of different knit fabrics. I chose double brush knit for 2 of my projects, and for the 3rd project I chose a rayon knit, and they all turned out really lovely. Next on my list is the Cashmerette Rivermont dress. So I made this pattern several times before, but I also made this for Thanksgiving. And if you are familiar with that project, it's the digital printed houndstooth fabric that's caramel and black. And I purchased this from Mood Fabrics. about a month before Thanksgiving, and it is a beautiful print. I love the print, and the pattern I love even more. The Cashmerette pattern, I also have a pattern review here on the channel of that as well. So I'll let you go ahead and go over and check out all the details of that if you are interested in that pattern. It's a beautiful pattern. It has a bodice front, a bodice back. It has a really unique facing that extends down into the arm side area, which gives the pad, which gives the garment more stability. It is a pattern that is for knits, and so you will need that stability. And it's a really great design. I really love the design of this particular pattern, and it's a TNT of mine. I really love it, and I love the way in which this particular garment came out this year, and I love the previous garment as well. It's just I no longer own it. I gave it to my daughter, but I really love the Thanksgiving project that I made with this pattern, and it's really comfortable. I haven't really been able to wear it yet, but it's a comfortable dress. I love how I can style it up or down because the print is very fun. It's very attractive, and I really like it. So that's next on my list is the Simplicity 2232, which is a Khliah pattern that I made for the Black History Month challenge, and I made 2 dresses with this particular pattern in 2020. So the first is a pattern, or the first is a dress that I made with the Minerva Craft Lady McElroy fabric, and it is a pink floral fabric, and it's a cotton poplin fabric, really wonderful and nice. I love cottons. I really love cottons, and so this particular cotton was really great. It was easy to work with. It didn't really, you didn't really see it fraying that much. So it doesn't fray like a ton, but I did serge it just in case. It's a beautiful fabric, and it's a wonderful pattern. Now, even though I love this particular version, I love the second version that I made with this more, and that's the lemon print. So it's a yellow and navy blue lemon print. It also has, I think, white dots going throughout the fabric as well. I really love this one. The first reason why I love it is because it has sleeves, and the second is because of the fabric, the print of the fabric, and then also the weight and the feel of the fabric. So the fabric is a cotton poly, and it's very soft. It's so soft. Next on my list is the lander pants. Now, even though I recently had a fail with the lander pants with the jeans, that was my fault. It wasn't the pattern's fault. And I love these lander pants. I can't get enough of these lander pants. I've made several versions of them. I'll pop pictures of the successful makes that I've made with the lander pants, and I love them. I absolutely do. I made a green pair. I wasn't able to take an image of that, but I made a green pair, and my daughter has that pair. I made an ivory pair. I made a black pair. I made a navy blue pair, and then I made the jeans. The jeans are the only ones that did not turn out well. But all the other pairs of lander pants, they turned out beautifully, and I love them. I do need to do a slight adjustment to the crotch area. I need to raise it up just a bit. But other than that, they fit perfectly, almost straight out of the envelope. I do have to grade a little bit from the waist to the hips, but I don't have to do too much in terms of changes. And then I also had to shorten the leg as well. I think I shortened the leg by like 3 inches, maybe 4 inches, because I'm short. And the pattern it accommodates tall people. So, but it's a great pattern. I love the pockets. The pattern is by True Bias, and again, I'll put that information in the description box below. And with this particular pattern company, they have different hacks and tutorials that they have on their site. So you can do like a pocket hack. If you don't like the big pockets that's on the front, they have a a pocket hack where you can actually put the pocket on the inside of the garment and just have like a slant on the top of the pant where you can actually place your hand inside the pocket that way. And so they have all these different hacks and things that you can make to the lander pants on their website as well. It's a really great pattern. I think it's like $18 US or something like that. So it's not a cheap pattern, but it is definitely worth it. I've gotten many pants out of the lander pant pattern, and so it's definitely a pattern I think worth investing in. And lastly, I have my bonus pattern, and that is the Berta 6540. And I've been going on and on and on about this pattern for the last 2 or 3 months. And I've just been really impressed with what I could do with this two-piece pattern. The pattern has only 2 pieces, and you can just be so creative with it. And I just recently talked about this in my Christmas dress video and a few other videos, so I won't go too much into detail, but I do want to let those of you who are new to the channel know that this is a beautiful pattern. It's easy to sew. It doesn't have like a neckband or armband or anything like that, so all you have to do is sew the back and the front together, and you flip your neckline inward and stitch that down, and your sleeves inward, stitch those down, and your hem, you flip that inward as well and stitch it down. So it's not a terrible pattern. It's very easy to work with. I've made so many different hacks with this pattern, and I'll put the pictures here so you can see them. I've made a dress where I hacked it, and I cut the top part of the dress around the waistline, and then I made it into 2 pieces so that I could have a skirt part of the dress and a bodice part of the dress. And so I have a bodice front and a bodice back, a skirt front and a skirt back. So instead of having 2 pieces, I had 4 pieces. I just sewed those together, and I made it a color blocking skirt for Christmas, and it turned out wonderfully. I absolutely love this pattern. I also made a stripe hack with it where I made a yoke front, and I made a middle section, and I made a lower section for the front of the bodice, and I sewed all those pieces up, and it kind of looks as if the middle section of the garment, like it was printed that way, like that the fabric was printed where there's a white, where the yoke is white, the middle section is striped, and the lower section is white, but it's not printed that way. I actually hacked the pattern so that I can get the stripes in the middle. And then on the back side of the pattern, it's just all black and white striped fabric. It's just a beautiful pattern. I intend on hacking it some more and adding elements and just kind of seeing how I can play around with the pattern before I actually introduce the pattern to beginner sewists and do like a tutorial, sewing tutorial or something like that with it. So anyway, those are my 2020 sewing successes, as well as my top 8 patterns that I really love, plus my bonus pattern. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure that you give me a thumbs up. Hit the notification bell as well after you subscribe to the channel. So if you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe to the channel and then hit that notification bell so that you can receive notifications of all my videos when I post them.